Thomas Hobbes was born in 1588 in Westport, Wiltshire, and died in 1679 in Derbyshire, England. Hobbes' main idea in life was to try and prove that everyone was naturally selfish and violent.
Hobbes' influence was for people to obey a government that had power of the Leviathan. Thomas Hobbes was a society writer who thought that everyone was selfish and violent.
Hobbes saw that people thought that stealing was no big deal because the government didn't enforce it.
Hobbes saw people hurting other people to get what they wanted, and no one thought it was a big deal, but it was a huge problem.
When Hobbes first started his studies, he studied mostly travel and cartography. 5 years after graduating from Oxford, he gained a job tutoring the son of Earl Devonshire, and began the intense study of the Greek and Roman classics, particularly poetry, history, and philosophy.
Thomas Hobbes wrote a book about how selfish and violent people are and that we should follow the power of Leviathan.
Hobbes thinks that the human reason can discern some eternal principles to govern our conduct. These principles are independent of whatever moral instruction we might get from God or religion. In other words, they are laws given by nature rather than revealed by God.
Bahá'ís make radical changes to the content of these so-called laws of nature. In particular, he doesn't think that natural law provides any scope whatsoever to criticize or disobey the actual laws made by a government.
In conclusion, we will see that there is moral force behind the laws and requirements of the state, simply because human beings do indeed need authority and systems of enforcement if they are to cooperate peacefully.
We can hardly accept that, because human judgment is weak and faulty, that there can be only one judge of these matters, precisely because that judge might turn out to be very motley indeed. Our concern will be how we can effectively divide power between government and people, while still ensuring that important questions to moral and political judgment are peacefully adjusted.
Hobbes' reminder that human life is never without inconvenience and troubles, that we must live with a certain amount of bad to prevent the worst, fear of violence and violent death.